Just for the two players, I'm sure you guys saw the preseason poll. I think first time since 17-18 that you guys weren't picked to win the conference. I know that you guys went into the tournament as the number 2 seed and kind of used that as motivation. Can you get some motivation out of the poll this morning?
I don't even know. I don't really pay attention to the polls. Yeah, I guess it is what it is. I think we're just gonna focus on ourselves still. And it's the same thing, I think.
Yes.
Ryan, can you talk about how much your brother's experience at Gonzaga influenced you to come to Spokane?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he told me a lot about the program, coaching staff, and all the above. But I feel like the best thing he did for me was just kind of making my own journey, my own path, and kind of wanted me to make my own decisions. And yeah, that's what I'm doing, and that's what I plan on doing all year. I'm kind of making my own thing. I'm not really too worried about what he did, but obviously he told me great things about the program.
What specifically did he tell you that maybe applied to you?
I don't know, just the trust he had from the coaching staff and the freedom they let him play with. Obviously, he had a great 2 years and had a great time, and I think just the main thing was just the culture that we had and the culture that Gonzaga has. So that's the biggest thing he told me.
Worked out for him pretty well, huh? He had a great year last year.
Absolutely, yeah.
Did you spend much time up there? Did you train with him last season in Spokane?
Yeah, I was down here like COVID summer. Kind of came down here and hung out with him because I couldn't go home before I went to Creighton for my first year. So yeah, I was down here. We trained a little bit in the summer, just workouts and stuff, and just hung out.
That helped kind of get familiarized into the culture and all that type of stuff.
Yeah,
Head start almost.
Yeah, kind of. But really, mainly just hanging out with my brother. But yeah, it was definitely cool to get down there and kind of see the city. So I'm already kind of used to it now. Now I'm actually here. So yeah.
Ryan, what were your thoughts when you saw San Diego State on the schedule? Keep playing them.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing them again. You know, obviously we played them last year in the term, but new team, new situation. So I'm just looking forward to playing them. A big time game. It's a great program.
In that game, you hurt your wrist. How bad was that? And how bad was that injury?
Not too bad. It was just like I just couldn't really feel a couple fingers, just like pins and needles. But you know, I'm good now.
It affected your shooting though in that game.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
So you played them twice. Won a dramatic game, lost a dramatic game. Is it just a knockdown, drag out type?
Yeah, I mean, they're just a great program. Matched up with them twice, beat them 1 year, lost them the second year. They're just a good team that play good style and play really good defense. So tough games always when you match up with them at Creighton. So yeah.
Mark, what's it been like to have a team without Drew Timme on it for the first time in quite a while?
It's been an adjustment for all of us. I think just his personality, right? I mean, you know, when he walks in the athletic complex, when he walks in the door, no matter where you're at, you know he's there. You know, and
is it quieter now?
Yes, definitively quieter, and probably there's a lot of things that are different. But no, hey, misses personality. Obviously, misses. I mean, the one thing is fun and goofy and outspoken as he is. I mean, he was just a hellacious competitor, and you know, it'll be fun watching him this next year. You know, as he grows into his next phase of his career. I mean, he'll be fine.
Regardless of what the poll said this morning, just talk about your impression of what St. Mary's will be this year.
Yeah, I mean, St. Mary's they're the same every year, right? They're just very disciplined, very purposeful with what they do on offense and what they do on defense. You know, just plug them in. They're gonna, you know, play a slower style, deliberate pace. Point guard's going to end up in a bunch of middle ball screens. If they don't like that, they're going to hit the wing and throw it into a big who can score with his back to the basket. Probably going to have to figure out how you double him at some point and play off of that. They're going to block you out. They're an excellent rebounding team. And then they're at the other end, they're just going to make you score over the top of them. And they're just going to they're going to be between you and the basket, and every shot's going to be challenged.
Anton, is it fun to know that you have 2 or 3 games every year against St. Mary's, and that's a staple in your conference?
Yeah, it's always a battle when we play them. Yeah, those games we always look forward to. Always packed, especially when you go down there and they come up here. So yeah, it's one of those games that you just know what you're getting into.
Mark, and setting up a schedule, kind of an art to it with who you have and what you want to test them with. Anything with this schedule that you set up tailored to?
No, I mean obviously, it's a lot like all our other schedules, right? I mean, we always front loaded into the preseason. We scheduled to be a number 1 seed. We try to, I think that's why these guys came here. And then fully knowing that, the WCC is always going to be way better than most people give it credit for. Watched last year, I specifically was watching St. Mary's. They had UConn, I think, tight-knit game there, and then one of their players goes down with a back injury, and so yeah, it's the same thing every year. I don't know that, like, at least in the last 7, 8, 9 years that we've had to change how we schedule 10, 12.
In that vein, what was the thinking behind playing San Diego State and doing that series?
Just again, they're a high-level program coming off a national championship game appearance, and so thought it'd be good for both of us. And we're both looking around for probably one more high-level competitive game. We're certainly looking for one that, if it wins, it really could be a huge boost to your net. It's going to challenge you what you're going to end up playing in the tournament down the road. But then also, if you lose, it's against a high-level opponent. It shouldn't really impact you or hurt you in any way, shape, or form that way.
Is there something stylistically with the way they play defense that helps prepare you for March?
No, not necessarily. Their defense is pretty unique when you get out there, and and again, they're one of those teams that slower pace of play. Extremely physical and athletic, especially with their rim protection and down and ball screens, which used to kind of be a big thing, but now it doesn't seem to be quite as big a thing anymore. So great rebounding team. Different style, but every bit as effective as anybody else is doing.
Mark, you talked about the schedule kind of being the same, but you play Kentucky in February. You did that with Memphis a few years ago. Was that just the way it fit, or did you want to play them there?
That was just Cal, and I just threw it out there, and anymore it's getting harder and harder to shove as many preseason games as you can into that preseason, without playing back-to-backers. So we were like, what the heck, maybe let's try to do that then. It's kind of what worked for them, worked for us. I think it'll be a good pop, with the viewership and eyes on it. No football at that time, so I think that kind of factored in also for TV.
Mark, you've got, I think, 2 or 3 international freshmen on your roster. Can you talk about those guys? Did any of them figure to be in the rotation, or what are you expecting from those guys?
Yeah, no, all of them I think will figure into the rotation, and it's outside of these 2 and Nolan and maybe a couple others. We're going to see a lot of bodies going in and out. So they've done all right. They've came in, and I think these guys will speak to that. They've represented themselves very well.
How different is it putting teams together, say like 8, 9 years ago, before the portal, before NIL, all the things now, and then trying to get them, you got Purdue on the 20th or something.
Yeah.
Trying to get them up and running, they accelerated it.
It's so much different than, it used to be have a freshman and then he'd play behind somebody and you develop him. And, then we used to even have it up on all our boards, hey, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. I don't bother with that at all, because it's just again, when you get to our level, you're hoping you move these guys on to the, it's their dream to play in the NBA. So, you're doing everything you can to try to get them to that spot and hoping and praying, you have a great season, a great time while they're at your place. So there's that, we haven't really been hurt by the transfer thing that much yet, but you have to then certainly add players through transfers, which has always been a great thing for us. It's really worked out well for us, so it's one of those things you just adapt to.
Can you talk about how Ryan's fit in so far?
He's phenomenal, man. He's easy. He's a great player, first of all, and a great point guard. I think he's the best point guard in all of college basketball. We had great familiarity with him because we knew the family, and so you find yourself, skipping through channels and there's Ryan. Let's watch him. Rooting for him. So he's fit in great. These guys all knew him, because he was up there at times, but he's like you said, he's his own man, and he's different, and his game's different. He's on a different path, and it'd be fun to be a part of it with him.
We have two conferences here today, and they're very different in how they're distributed into the tournament units. You guys get to keep a big percentage, and San Diego State Women's Championship game, and all those units will be distributed evenly. What are the pros of doing that the way you do it?
I think it's fair, first of all, and it's kind of what we are in the United States. We're still, I think, trying to adhere to capitalism. So, if you invest in stuff, you get back on your investment. I think San Diego State's invested in their program, and it shows. And so, hopefully they can reap some of those rewards. I think that's kind of the thinking with ours and where we're at. And I think it probably incentivizes programs into if you do take that risk, and it is a risk, right, to do all that and to operate a program at its highest level. But if you did it like they did, like we did, it can really be a great investment.
Mark, you coached with USA national team. How can you take anything from that, translate it now?
Yeah. Take all kinds of things. We could do a show on that. I mean, it's just a phenomenal experience. Could not have been a better group of people. I mean, it's unbelievable the type of people that are just so lucky and blessed to work with there, and just our meetings every night casually, and when you're with each other for 43 days and pretty much on your own with those guys, I mean, you really get to see a lot of stuff and learn a lot of stuff and experience a lot of stuff, and just so impressed with the level of success that Steve has had, that Spo has had, that Ty's had, that Grant Hill's had, and just how humble they are. I mean, it's unbelievable. They're incredibly humble and easy to talk to, and just a joy to be around. And then I learned a lot from the players. I mean, I'm so excited for the future of basketball in the U.S. because, I mean, these players are really, really good guys, and they got a lot of stuff on their plate, taking care of all the people around them. I mean, they're making a lot of money, but they're doing a great job of taking care of their bodies, and they're true professionals with how hard they work outside of practice and everything. And it was great to see that too.
How well did you know Steve Kerr before this experience, and what did you come away with about him?
I knew, had met him. Mike Brown coached with me in the Pan Am game, so when Mike was with the Warriors, I'd go down to practice every once in a while, and got to see Steve and talk to Steve, and everybody had said we kind of are similar with our approaches or whatever, and again, just couldn't believe how good a person he is. He's just a great, and he's very thoughtful and just so incredibly deep and well read, and got a great basketball mind. Does a great job of delivering it to the players. That they really respect him and care about him, and so big time. And same could be said of Spo and Ty also.
Is it your Is it your plan to be with them next summer in Paris for now?
Yeah. That's the plan. The staff stays together. So so that'll be another huge challenge, but huge opportunity for shared experiences and learning. And then look, man, when you're together that much, I mean, these are good friends of mine now. So that'll be a lot of fun.
How complicated is it for a head coach at a college team to be away from his program to that degree, and does it present a challenge for you?
I mean, I think it does if you're probably haven't been in a place for 35 years, and 25 years as a head coach. You got experienced guys coming back, and so we'd had the bulk of our practices when I took off, and then essentially I missed, these guys starting school and individual workouts and all that, but I don't usually start our practices, until later in September, so it worked out.
Next year we'll have a different.
They'll have a different pace next year, so I've thought about that. I'm still thinking about how we'll have to do our summer practices around it again, hopefully, and then we'll have to figure that out.
How can it benefit your program at Gonzaga to be part of this?
I mean, I think it benefits tremendously. I mean, just the association with USA basketball and the people, and then obviously the experiences for me. I mean, that I can share with these guys. I already probably talk too much about it sometimes with these guys that bring it up. But I think it's what they can relate to. They all want to get to that level.
Anton, sorry, Mark.
Oh, go ahead.
Anton, you were a freshman. Mark talked about how the freshmen are fitting in. Is there anything that guys like you can do to help those guys?
Oh, as an older guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, just honestly using my experience, and just I've been here 5 years. I know how practice is gonna go. I know what we're gonna do before games. So just helping them through that, and Dusty's the only freshman, but we got a lot of new guys. So just being able to be there for all of them, and just show that experience while helping them. Yeah, I think that's my job.
Ryan, what's the hardest thing about fitting in with a new team?
Honestly, it hasn't been very hard to fit in. I feel like it's been a pretty easy adjustment. I feel like all the guys are kind of bought in. Chemistry's been pretty good over the summer. We've got a great coaching staff, so I feel like it's been a really easy transition fitting in with these guys. And it's been pretty smooth.
Is it easier when you're the player like you are, a good player or a great player, as Marcus said, make it a little easier?
Yeah, I guess. It's just easy when you have a bunch of great guys with great character. Just good people on and off the court. It's super easy.
What did it mean that Nolan Hickman was kind of so welcoming when you transferred? He welcomed you in. He was obviously the point guard last year, and you guys are going to probably be sharing some duties in the backcourt. What did that mean to you to have kind of last year's point guard welcome you in, and it could be the opposite where he doesn't want competition and he wants a spot?
Yeah, it meant a lot, honestly. Nolan's a great dude. He welcomed me with open arms. And I feel like we've built a great relationship over the summer, working out together, just being together all the time, and I think he's going to really help us on the court. I think he's been playing really well this summer, and I feel like the backcourt is just going to be a really good team.
Mark, there's been a lot of Big 12 chatter in the last week, and I'm assuming that's not receiving about your endorsement. What are the pros of that conference? Obviously very different from the WCC.
This is a WCC media day, so we're playing in the WCC this year, and so that's kind of all I'm focused in on right now. Is just this coming year in the WCC, and this stuff's been going on a while. So we just, when it happens, it happens. If it happens, it'll happen. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I just kind of dialed in on this.
Is that the reality of just today's world in college athletics, that it's all everyone's going to be talking about?
It's the reality of that, and whether it's transfers, players, and conferences, and you just live today and live in the present, try to make it the best day possible, and totally dialed in to trying to make this the best year we've ever had, the best year these guys have ever had. And I just kind of boil it down to that, so it makes it easier. So I'm not fretting all this stuff that hasn't happened or might not happen.
People in the Mountain West obviously are really familiar with Grand UK.
Yeah.
for people who aren't, what can you tell us about him and how's his health?
Well, these guys could probably speak to what they could share about him.
Yeah, I think everyone on the team loves Graham. He's super chill. I feel like he's kind of got some similarities to me, but just a good teammate. You know, even when he's not on the court all the time, he's just bringing energy and just picking everybody up. So you can just tell he's got good character, and you know, we're glad to have him on the team.
So he's a great dude. Been a great teammate so far all summer. Even big enough into the school year. So he's a great guy. I was on my visit with him. So I think he's just great for the program, great for everything. You know, we can afford to see him on the court.
Is he fully healthy or is?
I mean, we're trying to like be mindful and kind of pace. Sometimes, you know, with college, you get. That's probably one thing I learned from just being around these NBA guys. I mean, they practice 3 times and play their first exhibition game. You know, so it seems a bit of a stretch, but
Yeah.
I think, you know, just banging away for 40 days before you play a game or something, and so you had a great summer. We're trying to then kind of pace it as we get into this, you know. So yeah, we fully expect him to be ready to roll. I would just say he's really driven too. I'm amazed at how driven he is, you know, with just his workouts and how he takes care of his body and really focused and driven individual.
Is he different from some of the bigs you've had in the past in terms of his skill set, the way he plays?
Yeah, definitely. You know, obviously being left-handed and all that, you know, is different. But his game's definitely different than say Drew, obviously, or
Right.
you know. But you know, there's some similarities maybe with some Domus and guys like that, you know. So.
Mark, were you surprised that St. Mary's was picked to finish first?
I didn't until you brought it up or whatever. I don't know. I don't really follow that stuff. I truly don't. So, great, good. I mean, preseason anythings are the biggest waste of time to me. I mean, they're just, I don't know why you guys go down this path every year. It's just a fool's errand. So, have at it. I don't give it another thought. So.
It makes you feel better. We don't get a vote in this conference, so only the coaches vote. It makes you feel better.
And
You can blame it on the media.
truth be known to that, I didn't. Somebody voted for me, so you know.
Was that you, Ryan?
Have at her, man. Yeah, I think it was. It's probably Anton. I don't know. So you know, hey.
Mark, when
That's why I'm not into it or know anything about it.
Ryan and Graham committed the same morning, I think pretty early on that Friday morning. I imagine you knew that night before. How'd you kind of celebrate getting to, you know, top 10, top 15 transfers?
It's weird. That seems like a long time ago. I can't really remember that. I know it was just a huge relief for our program, you know, because there was really obviously wanted them, and we don't recruit a lot of guys. We're pretty specific, and obviously, you know, when it popped that Ryan was going to be available, I mean, we did everything we could and went all in on that. And then, you know, I'd seen Graham over the years playing against Leon, and I knew, you know, that if he was ever to put his name in the portal, that'd be a guy that could probably really help with us. So, yeah, it was a good day. All right. Good job, guys.